One. Hello, everybody. Welcome to RSN Talkz. We are here with one of my close friends, and once again, an amazing wrestler through roleplay and clean, Sage. All right, man. How you
What's up?
doing?
Doing all right. How you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. That's
You
good.
ready?
Yeah, I feel
All
ready.
right. So, could you tell me what year you started?
I'd say around early-ish 2017.
Earliest 2017. All right. So, you started as roleplay in SWE, which is now WSWE.
Yep, you're correct.
Okay. And what would you say that experience was like?
All right. So starting off in WSWE or SWE now, as what they're called, I was a little bit fresh. It was something I had to get used to, but now, 8 years later, I'm kind of just getting to that retirement tour and helping people just get elevated into bigger scenes.
Okay. So now you switched between roleplay and clean a lot. What was the point of that? Did you like clean more than roleplay, or did you like roleplay more than clean? What's going on there?
So what inspired me to start doing cleans? I started looking into it. I started looking back at past matches that I started watching. Shawn McIntyre, being one of my favorite, cleans wrestlers ever. Love Shawn McIntyre. It's my dream to beat him. Um, it kind of inspired me to become a cleans wrestler. I had a rough start at first with a very interesting gimmick. Um, but I would have stick with Sidge since he is my first ever gimmick. But now I am back as him on this last run.
I got you. I got you. So I heard you had I heard you had like a small run in OPRW. What was the experience on the Storm roster? What was it like?
So being an OPRW, I could definitely say it wasn't stressful, but I could definitely say it was a challenging experience. Trying to make, events every week. Being on Twitter, things like that. The talent over there is incredible. Much respect to every single one of them. Everyone that I've gone against. Um, I mean, every one of the catalysms. Much respect, Dynasty. Much respect to them too. Um, I wasn't treated the best, and as in the best, as in I wasn't booked that much, which I understand why. There's bigger talents, and I respect it. You got to get priority straight. Entertain the fans, and give other people opportunities that they've worked hard for. So my small run in OPRW wasn't horrible. I was able to get a few wins over people, so that's all I'm happy about.
Yes, sir. Okay. So tell me, okay. So you've won plenty of championships, both in roleplay and clean. But what was your favorite championship that you've won, and why?
Um, I definitely say the World Heavyweight Championship from WRWF against the man, the myth, the legend, Vision Cena. And the reason why is because we talked things out beforehand. Because I was extremely nervous because this was my first. I'd say that was probably the biggest match of my Clean's career. As one of my favorite gimmicks that I've ever done, Six Wyatt. Which I'm still thinking about, doing a gimmick related to that. Maybe the Fiend coming back. I don't know. I haven't returned with that gimmick yet for cleans, but over time that'll evolve into something better. But the reason why it meant so much to me is one, Vision it gave it its all. Honestly, he's been around for a long time. His career is incredible. Watching his work, I had to study him a little bit before I went into the match with him because I was facing literally a pro wrestling legend for cleans. And getting that win over him was just something special to me, and I'll cherish it forever.
That's great to hear, man. That is very great to hear. You know, I know you've had a lot of connections with people like and other people that have helped you through your path. So let's talk about your failures, because I know everybody has failures in their career, whether it's personal, whether it's just a career failure, a slump. What happened there?
So there was a couple roadblocks in my career where some of the gimmicks wasn't working for me. I also got stuck with major illnesses that I couldn't really beat because my immune system's so poor. I also had a few allegations that went against
Ooh.
me, which I can openly admit that I was at fault for some parts, and the other person was at wrong for some other parts. Um, I will not list any names out of respect, but um, everyone has failures in their career. Failed gimmicks that I've put a lot of money on and a lot of work into, just not working and not getting the spotlight that it needs, and just not giving it enough time to simmer into the stories. There's also moments where in my career, where I've also gotten legitimately injured. I have a bad ACL issue. Um, I also have bad neck issues, and sometimes I can just get major illnesses, and I'm almost on track of developing a heart problem due to just the amount of illnesses I've had over the years of doing pro wrestling and not really being able to take care of my body. I'm still able to get out. I'm still able to work out. Do the things that I need to do daily and work because I work now. I have a girlfriend. I have a job. I drive home and back. So I'm taking a responsibility majorly. So I think I've gotten to a point in my career where I can understand that I won't be winning as much titles as I am now. Recently just won a title at WKC. I am now their new WKC Intercontinental Champion. Much respect to them. Buddy Matthews and Elvis Switch. Much respect to y'all too. But um, hopefully by the end of this run, I'll be able to kind of pick myself up and brush the dirt off and get myself back onto a track of life where I can get myself back into shape with my internal stuff. My body is perfectly fine. It's more I'm worried about how my heart's going to turn out after all these years.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. But you've had a lot of roadblocks, but it's glad to see that you've overcome most of them and are still winning things, still in the community, taking pride for what you've done. But let's talk about some of the biggest upsets that's happened in your career. I know there's been a lot of mistakes in matches, especially role play. You were supposed to win, you lost, or you're supposed to lost, or you won. But what's something that many people didn't think you would win, and you
Okay.
won anyway? What is it?
So for upsets for me winning some matches, um, there's been moments in clans where I wasn't supposed to win at all. It was me versus I think, if I remember correctly, it was wasn't Electric How I Find Ethan. It was when I faced Pydra Gamvos for the first time, and when I faced I think it was Matty. But no, everyone had a lot of, hope for, Matty beating me. But I was able to pull something off that was magical. That earned me a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, it kind of just shot up like a big burst of adrenaline. And it wasn't an ego boost, but I definitely could say that it was definitely a bigger thing for confidence. And now, I was pushed to the moon after that. Um, and I won the Championship against Vision Cena. And, I may have lost a little bit, one match after to Pie Drag after, which, I mean, he got his get back, but it's alright. I saw much respect. He earned that 100%. It was a very close one. But with RP, on the other hand, I'd say the biggest upset was definitely at XPW. It was a XPW x WKC pay-per-view, as you may know as Forbidden Door. The show was very hyped, and majority of the matches were decent. wasn't the greatest, but I was in the main event as my first match for WKC against probably their biggest superstar or champion, Kai Mirai, with a 13-0 streak with the Undisputed Championship. Um, there was no titles on the line. It was just the XPW World Champion versus, WKC World Champion. Um, there was a lot of moments where they swapped plans. I was supposed to be beating Kai, quote unquote, and then last minute I had to drop all momentum and give all momentum back to Kai, which ended up having to give him the win. I kind of felt disappointed majorly because majority of the people that are in XPW kind of weren't there to support me. I forgave the people that weren't there because some people showed in and showed out. Um, but I'm just gonna hope that over time, throughout the rest of this career that I'm trying to build, hopefully it will get a little bit better with maybe winning a few more world championships before I dip.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see you winning more world championships. That would just be great. Especially all the things that you had to overcome. And let's get to what inspires you to start this career in the first place. What got you into pro wrestling?
So, a very close friend of mine that is now in the military, I shall call him Nick. I'm not saying his full name, but he liked it when I called him Nick. Um, Nick, uh, people probably wouldn't remember him really, but he was mainly around in maybe the early stages of pro wrestling, around like 2013, 2014. He told me about it because I was in school one day and he brought me up. He talked about it and he was like, I feel like you would be really interested in this. He kind of showed me what it was about. He showed me a few of his matches, um, which at the time I was kind of like weirded out that, Roblox had, wrestling and things like that. And now 2 years after, well, couple years after, I'd say if he introduced me to it in 2014, yeah, I'd say 3 years after, I wanted to take a look for myself. And at the time, I was a huge Edge fanboy. I still love Edge to this day. So I wanted to do, an Edge related gimmick. And since, I've had the name Six for the longest of times, I kind of combined Six and Sidge, well, Edge, into one, which created Sidge, which I thought I found cool. Because at the time there was another one that kind of had the same name as me, but I kind of spelt it in a different manner. Um, but now it was an addiction that I got. I kind of stayed away from drinking, smoking, doing things like that. Now I'm just the heavy stoner. Don't do drugs, by the way. I recommend anyone that's watching this, no matter what. I mean, it's your choice, but it's just what I did. Um, but what kind of inspired me the most is looking at Clean's wrestling because it was more impactful, and I was looking at people like Shawn McIntyre, Undead Brock. Everyone knows him, Isaac Mercury, and a few others, like Unsable Gog and Vision Cena. Um, but it's been so long since I've I haven't talked to Nick in about a good month or so because he's been busy with the military. But I mean, I still can't thank him enough for kind of giving me a path, and I've kind of followed that path ever since then. Um, I've gotten lost along the way, but I was able to get right back on track with real ones that I still hang out with till this day. You, for example, there's Cody Walker, Pink Fried, C, Remuck, people like that. Um, the ones that stay true to me, that I see as brothers to me, brothers and sisters. Um, it's just been one hell of almost a decade, one heck of a decade. And I'm glad I did what I needed to do. And now, I mean, I have a girlfriend now, I have a job, things like that. So I'm probably not going to have a lot more time with it, but I'm going to do my damn best to make sure I'll attend every single show I can make.
Yes, sir. That's you've been a long way from where you started at, and just to see you now, where you're at now, it's just great to see somebody who's like grown to know the community and participate in all the community events. Kind of close to bringing the community closer together.
Mhm.
But let's get to the next thing. I was gonna ask you your Mount Rushmore of our wrestlers, but you just named you
I'm
just
pretty
named
sure I just
everyone.
kind of named my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it right now, and people can behave as all they want. But this is just my top 5 in my opinion. Shawn McIntyre is my favorite. I love Shawn
Mhm.
McIntyre. He's up there. Shawn McIntyre. I'd say Isaac Mercury, Unsable Gog, Undead Brock, and Vision Skinner are my top 5.
I've never heard Undead Brock on around Mushroom. Oh my god, Mount Rushmore. Usually it's how do I say this? Usually it's the biggest APRW stars or RWA stars, the biggest ones that you can possibly. Because I've heard ones with Gog on it. I've heard Shawn McIntyre on it, Isaac Mercury. I've never heard Vision or Undead Brock on it. It's something. It's nice to get something fresh.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely glad. I mean, they come a long way, and Undead Brock kind of had his path of his own. Such a unique gimmick. But just Shawn McIntyre was mainly the one that I looked up to. It's like I said, it's my dream to meet him. I mean, I'm good friends with Isaac Mercury. I've met Vision. I've had a match with him. I wrestled against him. Um, Unsable Gog, I've been around a few times because of Isaac, but it's my dream to just meet Undead Brock and, Shawn McIntyre.
Yes, sir. Maybe you'll get to meet him soon. Never know.
Hopefully. I hope so.
Okay, we just named Mount Rushmores for wrestlers. What about IRL wrestlers?
Oh. Okay. So for IRL wrestlers, I already got to say, I mean, Bray Wyatt, you know, not because of his wrestling style, say his creativity is kind of what brought him to the top.
100%.
Um, Edge, I've already said, Edge is my favorite wrestler of all time. Um, I've always looked up to him. I mean, I'm having, the same issues that he has with his neck now. Next is Drew McIntyre. I'm Scottish. He's Scottish. It makes sense. We're both hometown boys. We're from. He's from Ayr, but I'm from Glasgow. But I mean, still, no matter what, he's from Scotland. I'm from Scotland. It's kind of just like a fair ratio. Number 4 is most likely Kenny Omega. I started watching Kenny in NJPW. And I mean, his matches in NJPW, I don't even need to talk about. I feel like people have watched those matches countless times. And lastly, it's a hard one. I'll probably include an honorable mention too, because I don't want to leave this person out. I'd say my number 5 is definitely Ilya Dragunov. Um, that's
Wow.
it's an interesting choice, but trust me, um I love Ilya Dragunov with everything he's done. NXT UK and NXT Black and Gold, his matches have been incredible. I mean, he's been around the world, so I mean, it's been great watching his matches. And then for an honorable mention, I'd say between Finn Balor or Will Ospreay. Ospreay. I mean, we all know why Ospreay. Ospreay's just good. Finn Balor. I more respect Finn Balor because I mean he's the original man that created the Bullet Club. Um, Also been around the world, New Japan, Ring of Honor, things like that. So, but yeah, I'd say that's my Mount Rushmore for IRL wrestlers.
That's I like that. So I love how Bray played his character, especially the way he played his at the beginning of his career. I loved how he played it, and towards the end, I don't know, it was just management, but he still played his character great.
Yeah,
So
I wish Triple H kind of treated him better, but it's alright though.
yeah, 100%. So what's your Mount Rushmore for feds? There's been plenty of feds. Plenty of feds.
Oof. Yeah, there's been plenty of feds I've been to. I'd say early APRW. That's my number one.
Oh yeah.
OPRW my number two. MLW is my number three. I'd say my number four will be RWE, and my number five will be this is just feds I've been at, but WRWF.
Ooh. So RWE by Kelly?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Good
I
old
used to go
Kells.
there. It was great.
Good old
Okay. That
Kells.
was pretty fast. Um, who's your biggest rival?
Do you want me to just be straight up?
Straight up.
C Reigns.
T Reigns, yes sir. What?
And the reason why C Reigns was my biggest rival, he was the reason why he brought me back into RP. But he wanted to really test me. He pushed me to my limits. He wanted me to step out of my shell. Um, there's also another man that I highly respect that I had a major rivalry with. I can't remember. It's between Hazard Dynasty or someone in Catalysm. Um, but honestly, just C Reigns was my biggest competitor ever. Cleans and RP. He's always just been right by my side. Great companion, but great rival at the same time. High respect to him. He's like literally like one of my closest friends, and just RP and pro wrestling wise. And he's something that even if he says I'm better than him, he's better than. I can openly admit that he's definitely better than me. He just he says that I'm better than him to give me that ego boost and things like that.
He's a nice person.
Yeah.
Really nice. He made his apology and everything. I just thought it was great. He's coming back, and a lot of people forgave him. Great. So,
He deserved forgiveness because honestly, what he
100%.
did for Pro Wrestling was just great. So.
Yeah, he brought it to new heights it hasn't seen before.
Mhm.
So, who is the next prodigy, the next big thing, in your opinion?
Whew. Now, this question is a very good question in my opinion. No, the only issue is that there's a lot of people that I can list off that could be big. And no one's better than one another. Yes, there's people that can get victories over each other, but no one is better than one another. Everyone is in their own league. Um, I've been glazing the hell out of some fucking people, especially Shawn McIntyre. I apologize on that. Um, but no, one of them is definitely Novocidal. If Novocidal was still, able to, push himself to the ground and continue what he was doing, I'd say he would have been the top star for Cleans and RP. That was a major
100%.
echo. That's okay though. There's also, honestly, if what Kai Mirai or Wakati decided to take a step back and move into cleans, I'd say he would also probably be really good. There's you as well, man, because you've had your moments in your career. Well, yes, you've had some roadblocks, but honestly, if you keep pushing yourself to high limits, I'd say you'd make it
Thank you,
pretty
man.
high.
I'm honored.
But overall, I don't really think I have an answer for that question. I'd honestly say, I'm gonna just say Novocidal, because Novocidal, if he was still around and if he was still pushing himself and things like that, I feel like he would have been in, number one around feds.
Yeah, 100%. He's great, man. I've wrestled him. He's great.
Yeah, definitely a good competitor when I faced him. Really good.
We have two more questions, and this one, I don't know if you're gonna like this one, but when do you think you're gonna call it? You're gonna you're just gonna stop. You're gonna retire.
So I know I've openly stated that I feel like the end is, drawing near. Quoting Broken Dreams. Good song. Good theme too. But the end is drawing near. I can feel it. I could feel it, my energy slowly, burning down. Sometimes it hurts my fingers too, because I'm trying to type as fast as I can while trying to move around as well. So, it could be a lot. Um, now with going on to life, almost becoming an adult now. I've been busy, but it's almost time to, lace up those boots and call it. I'm still debating on who I want my final person, like my final opponent to be, but I just hope over time it'll get better. And I'd say around the 9-10 year mark, maybe 10 year mark, because I want to make it to at least a good decade before I lace up those boots. So I'd say give it a good end of 2026. I'll call it.
End of 2026. Oh, wow. Well, that's a long while away, and you've got plenty more matches ahead of you, man. So,
Yeah.
down to the final question. What advice do you give to people, new people specifically, that are trying to get into the pro wrestling community?
Good question as well. The best thing I could say is that, work your best. Don't over push yourself. Don't care about what people think. You know, do what you feel like is good for you. Do what, your move set. Make sure it fits you and your theme, especially your theme. Your theme is kind of what's important, not the move set. Your gear is nothing really to be worried about. Um, but I'd also just, would wish on just on them entirely that, do not stress yourself. Do not listen to what people say, and be yourself. Go out there, introduce yourself to people, and just be yourself. I think that's just a good way to put it. Just be yourself.
Yes, sir. Anything else you want to say?
Um, I wanted to, give my thanks to, everyone that I've, met and the opportunities that I was given along the way. It definitely means a lot to me, being on a podcast with you now. It's definitely my honor.
Thank you.
There's also, it's getting to a good point in, where some people are starting to retire, and I can see people drop like flies. And it worries me that pro wrestling is going to die, but I'm going to hopefully say, not trying to knock on wood, but knocking on wood at the same time that it doesn't. And it hopefully just progressively gets better. But honestly, I just wanted to give my thanks to everyone, to making me relevant, making me have a good good decade, growing up, making a lot of memories, all these title opportunities and legends that I've been able to face. I'm just thankful for everything, and I cherish it with my heart. And I hope I can have a good last run as Sidge before I retire.
Yes, sir. Well, that was it, everybody. That's the end of this episode of RSN Talks. I'll see you all later.